live for episode 2, season 2 of the Monarch Sports Talk. Man, what a GP that was.
The Bahrain GP. Well, that was a good season debut.
And season opener, it had all the little bits of drama that you kind of want from a Grand Prix. You know, a little bit of surprise, a little bit of suspense, some disappointment, and some excitement.
Yeah, kind of had it all, definitely. From judging from like testing and FP, like practice 1, 2, 3, and then qualifying, it kind of went the way I was at least expecting a little bit, just judging off of like that little taste of the first bit of the season. Ferraris were really quick throughout testing and throughout practice. Mercedes was struggling a little bit. Red Bulls looked quick too until that. We'll get to that, the Red Bull situation, but they had definitely a situation.
Man, and you were pretty spot on in the last podcast talking about Ferrari, how they went through testing, you know, what they kind of probably carried from last season budget wise, even in development, put it into this year's new aero package, et cetera, engine package, et cetera, et cetera. And besides even Ferrari, the engine itself just looked strong. Like you've got the Haas coming in there with a remarkable P5 with Kevin Magnussen.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo, Haas.
Bravo, Kevin.
Yeah, bravo, Kevin. Bravo, Haas. Even Mick goes for P11, which, you know, it's been his best finish in F1 so far. So
they right both away, had a strong race, definitely. And you even look at the Alfa Romeo, who's racing the Ferrari engine, and Bottas did really well. And even the rookie driver, Zhu, I think that's his name. Juan Yu Zhu.
Zhu.
He did pretty well.
Absolutely.
Pretty quiet race relatively for the rookie, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, you want it quiet that first race. You don't want it going too crazy.
Yeah.
Because usually it ends in the negative result way. But yeah, Bottas, you know, had a great race. So Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari engine in general, of course, Scuderia Ferrari with the P12.
P12, yeah, the pole to start the race. Big pole position for Charles Leclerc. Guy's talented. I think everybody knew that, so they can't really be surprised that he was on pole or now that he won the race. It's just like good to see it. Ferrari's got an exciting team, 2 really good drivers, 2 young drivers. So if this is a sign of things to come, they're going to be competitive for a long time.
Absolutely. And we saw a good battle there with Max and Leclerc. I would say that was the best battle of the race. They went Max passed Leclerc and then Leclerc passed Max, and that happened 2 times at least.
It was probably 2 or 3 laps. They were consistently going back and forth at each other. One was passing the other, one was catching up the other.
And then it seemed like Max kind of made that. He dove a little too deep and got a little probably spot on his tire. What do you call that again? A little bald spot, a little. Yeah, exactly. And that just gives it enough with these cars, the way they're moving. They're dealing with, you know, seconds a lap, half a second, you know, tenths of a second. So a little bald spot on the tire makes a big difference. And it seemed like maybe he pushed that car just a little bit too much in that sense. But, you know, from being a Red Bull fan, being, rooting for the Red Bulls in a sense, there was disappointment, obviously, with the 2 DNFs, and actually let's call it 3 DNFs because the AlphaTauri literally caught on fire.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Gasly.
And we have to remember he was having a good race, but we got to remember that Red Bull is supplying their own engine this year. So they were with Honda. They won the championship with Honda. They were doing the last 2 seasons with them. And then Honda decides to opt out of this 2022 season for whatever financial reasons or whatever that may be. So then Red Bull goes, okay, you know what? We're not going to take on a Mercedes engine. We're not going to take on a Renault engine. We're going to do this ourselves. And they probably take on some good engineers from Honda, but first race, they get 2 DNFs, looks like engine related. Let's be real, obviously.
Yeah. I kind of read up on the situation. It was a fuel pump issue.
Mhm.
So something to do with a vacuum and fuel pump inside the engine, which caused the malfunction and the terminal
Right.
issue in both the Red Bulls. I don't know what happened to the AlphaTauri, what made it blow up in flames.
Yeah.
But at least with the two Red Bulls, it was the same issue, both terminal fuel pump situation.
Unfortunate. Now, on the bright side, Red Bull was really the only other car, was the only car that had the pace to keep up with that Ferrari on week one. So, downside, yes, they didn't finish the race. They got damn near close to getting to the end. You know, it was what, within the last 10 laps, last 5 laps,
Yeah, I mean, both of them kind of ended
puttered at the same time.
exactly. I think Perez is maybe a couple laps later, if that.
So you'll see a lot of Red Bull haters or Mercedes fans specifically out there that are, you know, they're having their laugh
Yeah,
right now, but
Mercedes, not gonna lie, had horseshoes up there, you know what, because they had no business being on the podium.
that's one way to put it, Mitch.
No business. The car didn't look good. They, I mean, you knew they were not going to finish at the back of the grid. Like anybody in their right mind knew that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
But they were not even close to competing with Red Bull or Ferrari. So they were never going to finish on the podium unless that double DNF happened, which fortunately for them, it did happen. And they got big points out of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think that Mercedes they didn't have a good race pace. They didn't have really a good they didn't have a good qualifying pace. They didn't have a good race pace. You look at some of those other Mercedes engines out there. I mean, McLaren, just look at McLaren for one.
Well, like you were saying about the Ferrari engine is looking strong with obviously the 1-2 finish, the strong showing from AlphaTauri, sorry, not AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and from Haas.
Yeah.
All three teams did really well, but all three Mercedes teams did not do well.
Yeah.
I guess Aston Martin is. Does Aston Martin race a Mercedes engine?
They might. I mean,
I think they do. I'm pretty sure Aston Martin isn't actually the engine manufacturer. That could be
no, they're
wrong.
not. And
McLaren.
speaking of being wrong, I need to make a public apology here. I was unaware. I was misinformed by my own due diligence. The Miami GP is happening, and it is happening. What, in race week 5? Can we get clarity on that?
Round 5 confirmed.
Yeah, race week 5. So I apologize. I was thinking it was next year. It's happening, and it's happening fast. So
back to Mercedes engines, like you were saying, McLaren. Shocking performance from both McLarens.
Yeah.
Not a good day for Lando and Daniel.
No, absolutely not. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out here. Yeah, their engine is a Mercedes Aston Martin. Yeah, they didn't look great.
Nope.
They didn't look great at all. Well, I mean, it's tough. Vettel went down with COVID, so that's unfortunate. It'll be good to see him back in the car this week, hopefully. I'm assuming.
Hopefully. We'll see. You never know with these the COVID tests and F1. But yeah. To get back to our point, Mercedes finished on the podium, so credit to them for doing that. They stayed high enough in the field to finish on the podium, but their engine's not super strong. We'll see what happens going into the second race week. I just saw an article today saying they could have their issues figured out by week 3 or 4. We'll see if that happens. That would obviously make it a crazy season, I think, with Ferrari and Red Bull both looking strong, and then Mercedes figuring out whatever issues they have going on to make it 3 teams competing for that championship would be really, really exciting.
Yeah. No, it would. I think it's going to be, it's tough to judge on the first race of the season. I mean, Mercedes, they're going to come back with some more data from this race. And, you know, the races that are back to back, like I think, well, it's back to back weeks with Saudi Arabia. And then what's after that? Is it, I was hearing it's 3 in a row. Is it 3 weeks in a row here?
It's no, because I think Yas Marina is later in the season.
Sunday, March 27th, which is this weekend,
No,
April 9th. So it's 2 weeks until Australia after this one.
Oh, you're talking 3 race weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
thought you meant Middle East.
Nope.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So, yeah, Australia, Melbourne is April 8th to 10th. Race
And
day,
that's
10th.
that's exciting. And we got we're gonna have eyes and ears, boots on the ground, some would say, with Brandon Boot. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it in for this call, but he'll be with us next week, I'm sure, getting ready for the Australian GP.
Yeah, we'll be excited for that. But to stay more current, Bahrain was fun. Great showing from Ferrari. All that touched on. We're looking forward this Sunday to Saudi Arabia, Jeddah circuit. Should it be on the F1 circuit schedule? Some would say no.
I think most would say no. I mean, unless you're getting a really nice paycheck out of it. I mean, Saudi Arabia is the only country in the world that, still has a true monarchy that commits war crimes and all sorts of things. March 11th, they just publicly executed 81 people. Yeah. Like what kind of a country publicly executes 81 people?
Yeah, that is often overlooked. People see Saudi Arabia and they're like, oh, okay, fast track, whatever. They don't think about all the things behind the scenes. But that's not our job today. Thought we'd touch on it quickly.
It's good to be aware, and that's
our
the one
fans
thing.
And our people aware of it, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the actual circuit. It should be a fun race. It'll probably be similar to what happened in Bahrain, just based off of it's another fast track. There's 3 DRS zones, so there's probably going to be a fair amount of passing down those straights. I think there's a few high-speed corners too. So, I mean, it should be fun, especially with more competition this year. In the past, the Middle Eastern tracks have been pretty much purely Mercedes dominated. But now with the new regulations and everything, I think it's a lot more competitive everywhere you go. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm just glad F1 is back and we can watch 2 races back to back here.
100%. No, it's going to be a blast. And I think they were saying some cool stats about this circuit, how it's like got an average 200 kilometers an hour around the entire track, which that's crazy. Yeah. And what's kind of cool about city circuits, there's not too much room for error in the sense that they're typically pretty narrow. They've got more or less boards up versus a track like Bahrain where it just has a ton of runoff. Drivers can be a little bit, just like the putting your car into a wall has a lot more of an effect on the mental than it would in Bahrain. Let's just say that.
I would say you don't really want to put your car into the wall at 200, 300 clicks.
Absolutely not. No. Sorry, I was just quickly reading. It looks like Sebastian Vettel, as of 2 days ago, is a doubt for this Grand Prix with his infection. Unfortunately, that's too bad.
Yeah, that is bad.
A lot of porpoising fear out there, hey?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the talk was the Mercedes porpoising.
Sounds like a fucking like a turtle.
A porpoise. What is that? That's isn't that a dolphin?
So, yeah, it's like a dolphin meets a whale or something.
Anyways, yeah, it's I guess what does that do? Probably like the height of the actual car and the downforce, something like that.
Yeah.
I should look into it. I'll get a better answer for everybody in our 3rd podcast here.
Porpoising is F1's new buzzword, but what does it mean? It's a crazy word that just came into effect. Yeah.
Any early Saudi Arabia predictions?
You know what? I am now expecting Ferrari to have a pretty good outing. But honestly, I'm also expecting Red Bull and Max to come out flying. He's that type of driver. He doesn't want to DNF by any means. He doesn't want to come second place, you know. So I'm expecting a strong little. I think those engineers have been working nonstop since that DNF, and I think they're going to put out a good product. I think they're going to have a good race car and a strong result.
So what is a strong result to you?
A Verstappen P1 is a strong result.
Yeah, that is a strong result. I was gonna say he's coming out to win, not to finish second, like you said.
Exactly. I think if he doesn't win, he might even get another DNF.
He's that type of driver. He's definitely that type of driver. I'm still going with Charles.
Back to back.
The guy was quick.
He was quick.
He was taking it to max. There was aggressive driving from both drivers. That's what you like to see. That's what you have to do when you're racing Max Verstappen, because you know that guy's gonna A, have a really fast car, and B, he's always gonna be elbows out.
Absolutely.
So you gotta like do the same. You gotta like fight with him for your place on the track, and that's the way it should be. There's always like so many drivers these days complain about the smallest things, that they're getting pushed off track and this and that. Well, it's called racing.
It is called racing, and Leclerc doesn't back down from a race, and neither does Max Verstappen, and that's what's nice. Someone who may back down, Lewis will put up a fight, but he is one to complain quite a bit, and I know Verstappen does complain quite a bit as well, but I guess that's a part of the sport, hey?
Apparently it is, yeah. I mean, I think it's now more relevant and it happens more often because we kind of see everything. The team radios, and we see the onboard footage and the pre-race footage and the post-race interviews, and we see everything now. And I feel like 20 years ago you didn't.
This is true. Yeah, absolutely.
So
the media, social media, they're posting something afterwards.
Exactly. So it's always going to seem like everybody's complaining a lot or a little bit or however much they do. When, who knows if it was the exact same 20 years ago.
This is true.
Yeah, but I think it'll be another Ferrari Red Bull battle up at the front. Maybe if Mercedes figures out where they went wrong in that first race weekend, then they can start competing with those two teams. But as of right now, based off of what we saw in Bahrain, they're not very close.
No, but it's gonna be a good GP. Yeah, I'm excited.
Also, keep an eye on Alpine. Alpine had a pretty good showing. Fernando Alonso finished, I can't remember where he finished, midfield somewhere, but he had a good race. And also don't count out the AlphaTauris. Yuki Tsunoda finished the race. He had a clean race. He finished like midfield, but like higher midfield.
Yeah, Alonso finished P9, Ocon finished P7.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Alpines did well. Zhu, man, on his first race finishes P10, gets points.
Gotta love that for the rookie.
Yeah, unreal. And Albon with the Williams, P13.
Alex Albon with Williams at P13.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, taking into consideration 2 DNFs, 3 DNFs.
Yeah, that's true. Who all would have finished above?
Yeah.
This is true.
So, yeah, I mean, I think, do we have any predictions on McLaren? Are they going to improve? I feel like they have to improve. They've nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah, for sure. I was just seeing Lando Norris says it's not going to be easy.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's not a quick fix.
Not a feel for those guys. They're both likable drivers. Everybody likes them. You can't not really. They're both characters.
Yeah.
They're both really good drivers. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo's a bit more experienced, but they're both really, really talented. And like, if they had the car to compete, they would absolutely be competing with Lewis and Leclerc and Verstappen and Sainz and Perez. They'd be right up there.
For sure. Yeah.
No, I think it's hopefully over the next few weeks they can figure whatever else is going on there.
I'm sure they will. All right. Anything else F1 wise that's that's coming to mind that you want to talk about? I know.
Yeah, there's actually they did there's an interview with Stefano Domenicali, the CEO of Formula One.
Okay.
So that was just yesterday, I think. They're basically just talking to him about the sport and like how it's growing and everything. And the guy was saying there could be like 30 races in the future, which is insane.
How many races are there now?
23, I believe.
Jesus. That's wild.
Yeah, wild. So he's saying a race in Africa and a race in Las Vegas potentially, which I feel like is not that surprising. The US is a huge market. So for them to get a third race in the near future would be
very lucrative.
Cool, I guess. I don't know. Depends what the track is like.
Yeah, that's true. I imagine it would be Vegas, it would be show, it would be circuit for sure. Like, sorry, a city circuit.
Probably.
Unless they were to build like a racetrack. I mean, I'm sure they already have a racetrack or two, but
we'll see what happens. Just so I throw it out there, Vegas, Africa. Africa did have I think it was, where was it? South Africa, something like that back in the day.
I imagine South Africa would be the only place. Like, where else in Africa realistically are you hosting an F1 race?
Well, I think there was a Morocco race way back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Morocco, you can almost like swim to Portugal and Spain from there.
Yeah, pretty close.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Portugal, we got ourselves a qualifier tomorrow against Turkey.
We do. That's a big game.
It's the biggest game so far.
Yep. And half of the starting 11 is out.
Yeah, you got to love what Ronnie said. Did you see his like Instagram post?
Dude, he never says anything wrong.
Oh my God.
He should be the captain at United, not just Portugal, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna beat Turkey tomorrow. It's gonna be convincing. You gotta put this out into the universe. You know, it's gonna be a convincing win. They don't need all of their starters. They don't need.
No.
You know, they got the young Joao Felix, the superstar of Atletico Madrid. He's coming into form.
Yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo, he's always clutch for his home nation. And the rest of the crew, man.
Yeah. No, man, I believe it's just going to be it's always nerve-wracking, you know. They've kind of put themselves in this position, which is unfortunate, and it's one of those things.
Hopefully they come out and play a positive game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I can't stand watching is when Portugal will come out and play very, very conservative, very lateral, no attacking ball movement, no attacking forward passes.
Yeah.
When they have all of the skill in the world. Because
absolutely,
the team's incredible. Like that, the amount of Portuguese players that are playing on top clubs in the world and are in the starting 11 week in, week out is crazy. Like the talent level has never been this high ever in my lifetime.
Yeah, on paper, it's a fantastic looking nation.
Well, it's not even on paper. It's just like they are, period. But they don't play like it. Like the system is not right.
Santos, man, I've always hated the guy.
Yeah, well, I can't say I've always hated the guy. He did win Euro 2016. Wasn't his win. I'll give him that. He kind of got carried there by a guy named Cristiano.
Definitely.
Even that tournament, man, I remember screaming at the TV, being like, why are you playing like this?
Exactly. So maybe it's the universe doing its thing, and maybe it's meant to be, but only time will tell. So tomorrow is a big day, and for Portugal, also for Canada. We got a chance.
7 p.m. kickoff in the Pacific time zone in Canada here. You're playing Costa Rica in Costa Rica. So it's not an easy match.
No. But it's a good match.
Yeah. Definitely. They're undefeated. With 3 games left to go and CONCACAF qualifying, they're undefeated. They sit top of the group and they have a 5-point cushion. Or 4 or 5-point cushion.
Yeah, so it's looking good to qualify. Tomorrow they can secure it. First time since what, 1982 or something?
Something like that. They didn't score a goal.
Yeah. So it's big, it's huge for the nation. And I think it'll be really good for just young people in Canada, athletes, aspiring athletes that are growing up. They'll be able to look up to this, and then that's what makes our teams in the next generation even better. It's just you need to have something to look up to. And I think that's why we're seeing a really talented Portuguese squad, especially of attacking players, because these guys were looking up to people like Figo, like Deco, like Ronaldo, straight up.
Yeah. So I think it's an exciting time for Canadian football, and we have a World Cup coming up in 2026. So this qualifying period and then this coming World Cup later in the year in 2022 is huge for Canada, but even more so 4 years from now. So just keep building momentum, I think, is a thing for Canada. Take this as far as they can. And the Canadian men's team has a really good side. And I think they'll compete with some of the teams if and when they qualify for the World Cup. If they get a friendly draw, that's huge. They could even potentially make it out of the group.
Absolutely. Yeah. And who knows, man? We saw Costa Rica go on a run a few World Cups ago. Like, it's all possible, right? Peru went on a little run. I mean, I think Canada has the team and the talent to make something happen. And that's what tournaments are all about, is just making something happen. Yeah. So shifting, since we're still on European football here, let's just talk about quickly our quarterfinal Champions League matchups. We're going to have some good games coming up, a good final 8. We got Benfica and Villarreal as the dark horses that kind of just squeaked their way in. Both are really good squads. Villarreal is on quite a run. Benfica seems to have just gotten themselves there, and that's fantastic. That's all you need to do at this point. And then we got some clashing of matches with Man City and Atletico, Chelsea and Real Madrid.
Chelsea and Real Madrid, bit of a rematch there.
When was the last time they played?
When Chelsea won the Champions League.
Shit. With Drogba?
Or what? No.
Or more recently?
More recently than that. When was it? It's like...
Right. Not that long ago.
Yeah.
I went straight back to like Didier Drogba in like 2004.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, Real Madrid, they're coming off of a tough fixture against a tough El Clasico.
They won last season.
They won last year?
Yeah.
Jesus. COVID, man. COVID.
It was an all England final. They beat City 1-0.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and they beat Real Madrid on the way to get there. So a little rematch there. City, I think, should handle Atletico Madrid, but you never know. That team is always no rollover.
Dude, they've always got something up their sleeves.
Liverpool will likely breeze by Benfica, as much as I'd love to see the upset. I just don't have a lot of hope for the Portuguese side there. Yeah,
that's a tough matchup if you're Benfica.
Liverpool's rolling. They could even still win the Prem. They have all the momentum right now.
That's true.
They still have a game to play against Manchester City, so that could be the Premier League decider right there. We'll see.
Right.
Bayern, you got to think they kind of cruise past Villarreal too, but stranger things have happened, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But with Lewandowski, and obviously he's always in good form. He has 12 goals in Champions League, so
He's flying.
that's the thing.
Yeah. And I think Madrid wins, takes back that rematch with Chelsea. I mean, I know they just came off of a loss with Barcelona and their El Clasico, but
wasn't just a loss.
It was a thrashing, it was a smashing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But they still have, it looks like they're still taking La Liga, so it doesn't, I know it was unfortunate if you're a Madrid fan, but hey, those kind of games unfortunately happen in sports.
Yeah, they do happen. They're still in the position to take La Liga, and they're still in a position to keep advancing through Champions League. So
exactly.
Los Blancos are still in a good spot.
1000%. And it doesn't look like Barcelona made it to the final 8.
Barcelona?
Yeah.
They were not in Champions League.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
How are they doing in Europa?
Well, I'd imagine, let me just pull it up. Bum, 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 bum. So Barcelona is taking on Frankfurt in the quarterfinal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They should cruise past them.
You would think.
Yeah. How do they do in the first leg?
And what do you mean?
Well, it says second leg 2 of 2. Barcelona, Frankfurt. I don't see it. Oh yeah, there we go.
You haven't played yet. They play on April 7th.
Never mind. Yeah, my bad. I was looking at the wrong schedule. Braga is in there playing the Rangers.
Wow.
Wow, that is wow. Crazy. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun little spring here, man. I love this time of year. We've got, we got playoffs, essentially European football playoffs. We've got qualifiers happening, Champions League. We've got hockey playoffs coming up. Not that we really talk about that much. Basketball playoffs, March Madness. It's a really good time to be a sports fan.
Tyreek Hill just got traded to the Miami Dolphins. That was a big, big deal.
And what's your take on that really quick?
That just happened this morning. Huge for the Dolphins. I think it's a really good move for them. Kansas City, interesting. Like they got a lot of draft picks. They got 5 picks in return. A first, second, a fourth, fifth, and sixth, something like that.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about that? Is that like are they kind of committing to rebuilding or what?
How can you commit to a rebuild with Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. I don't think it's a rebuild. I think he wanted to be the highest paid receiver in the league, and maybe Kansas City couldn't afford that, so they traded him.
Yeah.
And Miami obviously could afford it because they just made him the highest paid receiver in the league at like 120 million or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great for Miami. Is it going to be great for Tyreek? We'll see. He doesn't have Patrick Mahomes throwing to him. He now has Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Bright side, you're in Miami.
Sunny. It's warm.
Yeah, definitely. Better than Kansas.
Yeah.
No tornadoes there, just hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
should be good.
I like it better for Miami than I do KC.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's good. I think we made a little poll on Monarch Sports there, and only one guy was saying that he liked it for Kansas City a little more.
Right.
You know who that was?
Nope.
Austin.
Huh.
He loves it. He loves it. Yeah. I know. I'll ask him about it next time I see him.
Yeah, you should.
All right, man. Well, I think that's probably about it. We should probably wrap this up.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered quite a bit there. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you did, share, like, follow, do whatever you got to do. We're going to be back at it next week after the Saudi GP. It just seems like there's so much happening in sports right now. There's going to be lots to talk about.
Absolutely. There's always lots to talk about. I'm excited for the GP. I'm excited for another Ferrari win.
He's calling it right here. All right. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. We will see you next week.
Yes, we will. Have a good night.
Boom. Boom, boom.